Hi everyone, it's Amy here from the blog I Think Therefore I Teach. Welcome to your first pop of philosophy. This 5-minute summary is going to go over the topic of cosmological argument following the OCR spec. So let me set up my 5-minute timer. Here we go. So, the main two names for the cosmological argument are St. Thomas Aquinas and David Hume. St. Thomas Aquinas, in his book Summa Theologica, wrote 5 ways to prove God's existence. It's the first 3 ways that we are interested in for the cosmological argument. The first way is the unmoved mover. For Aquinas, he looked at motion in the universe and said that everything is in motus or movement, going from potential to actual, using the inspiration from Aristotle. This potential and actual cannot go back infinitely. Aquinas did not believe in infinite regression. He believed that everything must have a start and a beginning, and therefore that motion has to have started somewhere. And for Aquinas, that is God. God is the unmoved mover. This means that God can move things without moving itself. Otherwise, it would be part of the process of motion again, so must remain removed from it. The second way is the uncaused causer. This looks at cause and effect. Every effect must have a cause, and again, these causes cannot go back infinitely. There must be a first cause or a first start of these. We are currently living in the middle of the causes. There will be the end of the cause. Think of it like a book. There is a beginning of a book and an end of a book. There must be a beginning. These causes must have started somewhere, and therefore that start is the uncaused causer, which again is God. God again is uncaused, because if God wasn't uncaused, it would then lead to what caused God, what caused the thing that caused God, leading once again to infinite regression, which Aquinas did not believe in. So therefore God himself has to be uncaused. The third way the third and final one is contingency and necessity. Everything that exists is contingent. It relies upon something else for its existence. Like we are contingent, we rely upon our parents, we rely on oxygen, etc. And again, this cycle of contingency cannot go back infinitely. There must be a being that is separate from the pattern of contingency, and that being is a necessary being. Necessary meaning self-caused, self-created, and that being once again is God. Those are Aquinas' 3 ways for the cosmological argument. David Hume, however, is our critic, as he is for many of the other arguments, and his first criticism is the fallacy of composition. A fallacy is where there is a mistake in the logic. Aquinas has a mistake in logic. Fallacy of composition is the idea that because you've explained everything individually does not mean you have to explain everything as a whole. So because we've explained all the cause and effect in the world does not mean that there is a cause for everything. Just because we can explain motion in the world does not mean that there is a start of this motion somewhere. So he uses the example of 20 particles. If you explain every particle individually, you do not have to explain the particles as a whole. So this is the fallacy of composition, and it can be used against all 3 of Aquinas' ways. Bertrand Russell gives the idea of just because every man has a mother does not mean that the whole human race has a mother. So again, it's this idea of you can't go from something individual to something as a whole. J.L. Mackie also adds that why isn't that start some permanent stock of matter? Why again does it have to be God? Where does it have to be a being? Hume's second criticism is this idea that not every effect needs to have a cause. Within the logic of the world, within the logic of philosophy, just because we have effects does not mean that there has to be a cause, or that cause therefore is God. We weren't there, we do not know. So that's sometimes called the fallacy of the affirmation of the consequent. We can affirm the consequent, we can affirm the outcome, the effect does not mean that we can affirm the cause or where that effect came from. Those are the main parts of the cosmological argument. There are many extra names so that you can bring into an essay. So, for example, you could use the Big Bang and the steady state theory. I would use one or the other rather than both. The Big Bang is an explanation for where the universe began that isn't God. The steady state theory I think is very interesting. It's the idea that you can't create energy, it's just a redistribution. So there wasn't anything at the beginning of time that created and started it all. It's more that there was energy that then moved around and that collided in a certain way that caused everything to begin, because you can't create energy but it can redistribute. Bertrand Russell also continues his criticisms asking why is this being God, that everything will go infinitely into the future, why can't it go infinitely into the past? And he also presents the ideas of analytic and synthetic. These are not his, he hasn't created these words are words out in the English language. He actually uses this, though, against the cosmological argument. Analytic are definitions of things, like bachelors are unmarried men. Bachelors, by definition, are unmarried, and so these are analytic statements. He says that something that is necessary has to be analytical. So in order for something to be necessary as a definition, it is an analytic statement. But when you talk about a being or a person being analytic, actually that is incorrect. Not bad for timing, I'll finish off that point. You can't have a being that is analytical, because that then becomes synthetic. Synthetic statements are when you talk about someone or something. So Herbert is a bachelor, you would have to find Herbert to go, oh yeah, you're unmarried, you're a bachelor. And this means that you need evidence or proof. To say God is a necessary being, you're talking about a person or a being, therefore you need evidence and proof, which you cannot find, and therefore it becomes meaningless. All right, folks, so that is the cosmological argument in a nutshell. You can also find further supporters of the cosmological argument for Aquinas from things like the Calum argument or William Lane Craig. If you would like this in more detail or slower, please do check out the PowerPoint on here, which will go over this in much, much more detail. Otherwise, give me a little thumbs up if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well, just so that you can get regular updates every time I do post these videos. All right, bye for now, folks. Thanks very much.